Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's Michelle Reinhardt. Today we are welcoming our Work Together Wednesday community blab from a community Facebook group called Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. I am the founder of the group, and our beautiful special guest today with me here, smiling and happy, is Allison Sarah McGinlay. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm really excited, even though we're in a slightly different format to what we planned. It's lovely to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. It really is. And today's the day we shine the spotlight on our community members that are standing up and doing some pretty cool stuff in the world of entrepreneurship. So the spotlight, as I said, is on one of our extraordinary entrepreneurs in our community, Allison McGinlay. So Allison, I'm going to just share your bio and I will read it. Very impressive. I couldn't memorize it. So give me a second to keep smiling. Allison is a relationship and transformation coach and a mentor and speaker. Ali teaches courageous women how to transform their relationships by working on their biggest love first, which is, of course, themselves. It's the only one that's really important, truly. Ali is on a mission to introduce to the world the idea of serious self-love, and it isn't wrong, and it certainly isn't selfish, but it is a solution to living happily, contented, and connected lives. So her teaching allows women to do several things. Firstly, accept their feeling and emotions without shame. Secondly, become vulnerable and lose their fear of judgment. Harness the power we have within. Release the dread of being branded a victim, and create a connectedness with yourself that allows you to radiate confidence. Now, we have labelled today, Find Your Hidden Superpowers, and I am excited, Allison. Is there anything else you'd like to elaborate on before I launch into some questions?
No, do you know, when you're reading that back, it still resonates so strongly with me. You know, you write these things and you run it by your sort of peers, and still you're reading it out, and that's exactly what I do, and that's still my mission in life. And when I see that happening, and for other women, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful to see that move, to see the light in somebody's eyes when they have that sense of hope that it doesn't have to be the way it's always been. So yeah, I've kind of got goosebumps when you were reading that out. So no, I stand by what you read out. It was transformational in my life, and that's kind of what led me down the path of coaching, so that I could take it to other people and share that knowledge with other people, because for me it's kind of a hidden story, this sense that it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be sad, to be happy, to share the hurt that you've got inside. I didn't realise that you could, in fact I didn't realise, I was actively encouraged not to, I think, as a lot of us were. And the sense of freedom that for us, when we can actually say, do you know what, that hurt me. I'm not telling you that because I want you to do anything about it. I'm just sharing that with you because I want to share part of me with you. It's so powerful. And it's, yeah, and I can see you're smiling. You get it. We do get it. That is the solution. Share with other people. That's how we make the connection. And that's kind of my belief, is we're here to be connected. And the worst periods in my life were when I felt isolated and disconnected. So to be able to share how I'm feeling, whether it's good or whether it's bad, is really, you know, how I want to be in the world, how I want to present myself in the world. So that's all I would add.
I'm very excited to hear that, and I join you wholeheartedly in acknowledging that there are so many people, and not exclusive to women, people that are literally walking life in a trance, that have lost the ability to open their hearts, to communicate effectively, to live fully with grace and ease and joy. And I'm so excited about this. So let's dive into what you've got here. Superpowers to women. So many successful entrepreneurs were in business well before they finished high school. Were you?
Absolutely not.
No?
I came very, very late to this. I was very traditional. I went to school, I went to university, I got the good job, the good corporate job. I moved from Glasgow to the City of London. I had a ball, to be perfectly honest, I had a ball. But I also wasn't particularly fulfilled. What I did suffer from was a huge lack of self-esteem and self-worth. And I stuck at a job and a career, which was, on paper, very, very good for many years, more than I should have done, because I didn't believe that I deserved that job. And I didn't therefore believe that I would ever be able to accomplish something similar if I left.
Oh, wow.
So and I think, again, having shared that with people, it's a kind of common story. I spoke to a guy recently who's very, very senior in a bank here in Italy, and he said, I spend most of my time thinking, when are they going to find me out?
Oh, wow.
Isn't it frightening that we can go through life without really accepting our superpowers? We're not there. We're not there by chance. We're there because we are good enough. Everyone else can see it. Why can't we?
Oh, I know. What is that, hey? What is that? So how long did it take once you made that decision to be effectively in business?
I started, my story, I'll try and keep it brief. I did a lot when I arrived in Italy 8 years ago now, and I gave myself 2 years to be a mum, a stay-at-home mum, which was kind of, and it actually took a bit longer than that, and I did sort of various things, and then I decided to go back to my corporate career. That's what I knew, and that's where I felt comfortable, and I couldn't get back in. And I thought it was my lack of confidence. I thought it was, there was something inherently wrong with me, until I realised that actually I couldn't get back in because I didn't want to get back in. I was setting all these barriers up for myself, and as the universe unfolds for us, when I realised that, somebody came across my path and introduced me to coaching. The idea of coaching, first of all, from getting clear on what I wanted. And as I did that, I realized it's what I wanted for me. So I started on a journey of, to become a coach. And it kind of unfolded from there. And it's very recent. It's only 2.5 years since I started on the coaching journey. And it's really only, what are we now, 7 or 8 months since I started to try and bring it online. So I'm very, very new to this.
Okay.
And I have to say, my learning has gone like this. My brain has expanded. You can probably see it sitting on top of my head. I didn't know there was room in my head for all this new information. So I'm very, very new, very passionate, and it's amazing how my niche kind of came to me. I started online without a clear niche, and maybe that's something we want to look at for other entrepreneurs, how important it is to know who you want to talk to. And when I discovered that, everything just kind of went like this. It took off because there are people out there who want to know what the right next step is in the relationship, for instance, and that's what I do. That's my superpower.
That's your superpower. That's very cool. So did you have moments of doubt?
Absolutely. And what I've learned over the years is have no expectations. It's very difficult. It's easy to say. It's very difficult to live by. Have no expectations, because when you don't get caught up in those moments of doubt. But what I found is every time I get into that, I'm not going where I should be going, where I think I should be going, something happens and brings me back onto the path and makes me understand that I am exactly where I should be, and I am helping exactly the people that need to be helped in that moment. So yes, lots of moments of doubt, but there's always something there that brings me back, that sort of refocuses me. And it can be as simple as just somebody sending me a message saying thank you, or phoning up and asking if they can have a quick chat, that makes me understand I'm doing what I need to be doing.
That is awesome. Absolutely brilliant. So let's get these people off the edge of their seats and let them help them find their superpowers, shall we? So where do we start with that, Allison? What do you extract from people to find this out?
Well, as I said, I work very much with people, or with women, and I work with women specifically because I understand women. And I've had an experience where when women start to make the change in their own lives, their men tend to follow. I'm not saying it's always the case, but it's been my experience, and I've seen it in my clients to date. So I work with women, I'm comfortable there. And what I do is I take whatever it is which is normally the relationship with their partner, and we use that as kind of a mirror for what's going on with themselves. You know, you come to me and you tell me how miserable that you are. You're not feeling respected. You're not feeling loved. You are feeling pretty invisible. Okay, how would you like it to be? And we sort of zoom back out and we take a bigger picture of that. And then we start to look at, you know, we hold it up as a mirror to you. Okay, so you say you're not feeling loved. What are you doing about loving yourself?
Oh.
What does that mean for you?
Ouch.
And yeah, and time and time again, you know, in fact, now people come to me because I'm fairly vocal about that, this being the solution. Self-love is, or serious self-love, I say, is the solution. So they come to me, I know I've got to love myself, but I don't know how to. We don't know how to. We never, you know, it's kind of, we're brought up in a society where it's kind of selfish to put yourself first. And I have the same argument time and time again with my mother, who says, you know, that's not the way to do it. Well, it is the way to do it. Look, I'm happy. I've got a happy family. I've got a happy circle round about me. I'm living my own example and it's working. So what's selfish there? I'm good. You're good. But it's really difficult to let that down, to let the barrier down enough to begin to start looking inside. And that's why we coach. It's not because, you know, it's not because I want to tell you what to do. You know in your heart what's going to make you feel loved, what's going to show you your own sense of self and build your own esteem. I can't tell you that because it's different for you to me, to anyone else. And that's what I love about coaching, is I get to uncover for you, or help you uncover your own story and your own path. You know, it's beautiful.
So is there a process? So we reach the self-awareness and the self-love, and then...
Yeah. And the process is, I use very basic coaching tools. One of them is the GROW model, which is really taking you through the process. What do you want? Where are you now? What's your reality? Why haven't you done anything about it? Why, you know, have you done something and it's not worked and it's put you back? You know, it's made you feel that it'll never be achieved. Okay, what can we do about it? And then what are you willing to do about it? So I sort of take you through that process time and time again until you are clear in your head what you want. I don't, you know, I think we spoke before with this interview. I don't offer it special. I don't offer it anything, you know, soul cleansing or EFT or any of these things. These are things that I use for myself, but they're not the things that I started in my journey. They're things that I added in. So I take my clients, my ladies, to the point that they then understand what they need to do moving forward. So that's, you know, I take them step one, if you like, and then hand them over to people like you.
Thank you. And then I really get them into big trouble.
Where
the rubber hits the road, hey. But the superpower stuff, Alison, that's very intrinsic. That's very unique. So I have a way, I imagine you could get to that, but does it just unfold, or is there a 5 different superhero powers, or what is it? How does it work?
My way is just keeping, you know, I'm fairly tenacious, therefore I keep digging and digging and digging until you get bored and you give me the answer that you need to have. So, you know, I can go on, I can ask you the same question in 15 different ways until you give me the answer that, you know, that you need to hear. Because what I find, and, you know, I'm talking to you and I know that you use, you know, probably slightly different, but, you know, similar ideas. We need to understand ourselves, our, you know, in our soul, who we are, not who we want to be, who we think we should be, who we've created in order to be that person that our mother loves, that our husband loves, that our friends love, that our colleagues respect. Who, you know, what our own moral compass is and what our own values deep inside are. So that's, you know, that's where I get you to. I get you inside there, knowing what is comfortable for you and to be. And that's, you know, that's where you find your superpowers. That's where you find who you are and what you want from life. So, you know, the question that people come to me with is, should I leave my marriage or should I stay in my marriage?
Wow.
I don't to answer that, because by the time you've gone deep into, you can't see my hand, realise I'm doing this and I'm sort of pointing to my
I'm doing the same, don't worry.
I realise you can only see my neck. I'm very intensely pointing inwards here. By the time we've sort of dug it about inside, and you've understood who you are and what you really, what your absolute desire in life is, you've answered your own question. You know what your next right move is. I don't have to tell you. I can help you then put a plan of action in place, but I don't have to tell you anything, because you have probably for the first time in many, many years uncovered your true self. And that's pretty, it can be overwhelming, actually. It can be overwhelming, because you see that the person that you hold up, that you look at every day in the mirror, is quite far removed from the person that you really are. And it can be quite hurtful sometimes to realise that you've had to build this picture to please other people. At the end of the day, we're not pleasing other people, we're pleasing ourselves, because we want to be loved and we think that's what it's all about. But it can be kind of overwhelming to look at that, but it's really powerful to be able to garner strength from it and really harness who we are and take that out into the world and use that as your compass going forward.
It's like your armor, your shield, and the true journey begins once you really can look at yourself and just say, you know what, I like what I see. And that's hard to get to.
It really.
We are a combination of so many other people's beliefs and patterns and habits. So when we unpeel all of those layers, it's very, very confronting. And that's why it's really, really important that people come to someone that is qualified enough to lead them through that journey.
Absolutely.
And passionate, and it's oozing out of you. So what are your programs, hon? What programs do you offer to take people through these?
I offer, as I say, I'm a simple girl. I do like to keep it simple, and I offer 2 levels. I offer a 6-week program and a 12-week program, which is really pretty much as I described, and it depends how deep you want to go and how quickly you move forward. I tend to talk to you first and then understand what level you're at, how quickly you want to move forward. Some people need a lot more, we need to go a bit more slowly, and I would suggest the 12-week program. There are people that really are ready, they just want to get there, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and quite often we have a lot of progress in 6 weeks. I also offer, which I love, it's something that I'm really passionate about, and it's so practical. I also offer a disc profiling, which I don't know if you've heard.
No, please share.
Personality profile, which is which really sort of puts you in your box. It's kind of scary how accurate it is, but it's something that I used without any great intention in my own marriage. Because my husband and I were actually, if I look at this profile, we shouldn't be together. We're the people that just never should be put in a room together. We're poles apart, and I couldn't understand how we kept having the same argument. That I kept unraveling. And then we did this just because I happened to be studying it at the time. I did it, and I said, "Okay, let's do this together." And it was mind-blowing, and I thought, I need to know more about this. I need to understand how this works. And it basically, it shows you who you are and how you interact with the world. I don't even need to do it for partners. I can do it with my client. Right. Who you are, and it gives you a sense of how different we all operate, or differently we all operate. And therefore, it gives a sense of empathy with people around about you, because you can understand that not everybody thinks the same way as you, because if you are that unique, then everyone else must be that unique. So it kind of gives you that sense of how we can interact and how we can start to understand the relationships. And there are some people you just click with, and they can be rude and they can be cheeky and they can be whatever, and you laugh it off and it's fine. And there are other people that say exactly the same thing and you can take their eyes out. So it kind of gives you an understanding of how that works, and I love it. So that's something else I do if you're looking for something really practical.
Yes.
You want to get started, you want to maybe have an understanding on how I work, because I offer a 45-minute consult at the end just to help you put in practice some of the principles that come out
Oh,
of
perfect.
this.
So you do a discovery session.
Yeah, and then we do the assessment, which you fill in. Then you get a feedback and assessment form back, and then we go through that together, and you can sort of work on a program of action to take it into whatever relationship you're interested in, or in all your relationships, actually, because it kind of works. It works everywhere.
That's beautiful. That is really cool. So what have you got a most satisfying moment that you've experienced since you became a superstar entrepreneur?
I've got lots of satisfying moments. You know,
When I the main one, the standout.
This is really a woman I was working with. I am still working with. I looked at her profile the other day, and this is really small, but it's really meaningful. And she had added her husband's surname online, and that,
I just got goosebumps.
Huge. You know, that's huge. She came to me because she wanted to find a way. She wanted to understand, of course, what could she stay or could she go. And when I saw that, my heart just exploded. So yeah, it's those simple things that make
beautiful. I take it she's staying. Hey.
Looks like
it. Okay, another one for you. Is there any one thing that you stand by that many people would disagree with?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, this sense of, and I'm not sure people disagree, but I think they're scared of it, being vulnerable, showing yourself. I am so convinced that is the only way to have a true heart or soul connection with another person, is to be vulnerable. And I don't mean with everybody, because there are some people that you just can't, but you know, to find those special people that you can go to when you have to share your heart with them, with someone. I stand by that, and I know a lot of people find it really difficult. So that would be it for me.
I think that's a part of the journey. I think once we get to that heart of ourselves and our soul and our journey and our purpose, it becomes much easier to be vulnerable because you've let those walls down. And once you start letting people in, it's like a big knock on the universal door of like, hey, she's ready, let's help. So have you had to adopt any particular habits or mindset tricks that have helped you? Because it's hard working with people that come on a downer. They've come because some of them are really at their wits' end. What do you use to keep you on top of the game so that you're at your best for your clients?
I don't use energy, but I do need to be able to put a barrier up, you know, not take it on, because I'm pretty much the same. I tend to soak it in. I can tell walking into a room what the atmosphere is, and I soak it up. So I've had to learn just to, I do a lot of yoga, and that's where I release it. I release it onto the mat, just, you know, let it go, let it go, let it go. And that's where I find my peace, and it's kind of where I find my center again. So I put myself back in. I also do a lot of, I don't say meditation, I do a lot of contemplation. You know, just getting in touch with how I'm feeling and how I want to feel, and taking a step. I kind of do a coaching process with myself, if you like, taking myself from where I feel great, not so great, to where I want to be, and sort of work through that, because it's right. I also limit myself to the number of people that I work with at any particular time, because is overwhelming. And I want to make sure not just that I'm great for my clients, but also, you know, I'm great for my family and for my outside life. So I'm pretty rigid in terms of how I organize my mind, and how I organize where and when I take clients. Not when I breathe, however. I forget to do that sometimes.
I was talking to someone the other day about shifting their mindset with money, and I said it's quite simple. You breathe without thinking about it. You've got to just expect money without thinking about it, just as a natural part of life. It's just energy. And she was just, oh my God, that's so simple. It's so true. We have to breathe.
Yeah.
To have money to survive.
Yeah.
The way it is.
when you make peace with that, and one of the big things for me with money was I can do so much good when I have money.
Yes.
I can do so much good in the world. That's, it's simple. And as you say, it's an energy. When you stop thinking about it as greed or, all these things that, that we have hanging about from my parents, certainly it's greedy to be rich, it's greedy to have this.
Oh.
Not, I can do so much good, and I do so much good.
Yes. So I'm looking for the best piece of advice you've ever been given that just sticks.
The best piece of advice is not to have expectations. Actually, I touched on that earlier, didn't I? And it's something I find it easy to say, and when I'm not expecting, when I'm just doing and knowing that it's going to work, life is fabulous. It's not so, it's heavy. So for me, that's the best piece of advice, and it's something that I try to keep at the forefront of my mind, and it's something that I try to share with other people. I try to share it with my kids on a regular basis.
Yes.
And it's,
wow. Our kids are a direct reflection of our mindset.
Completely.
And that is so scary when you think about it. What you think, they become.
Mm-hmm.
And it's extraordinary. So I love that, no expectations, because it opens the door for the universe to deliver anything, and it could be 10 times better than you could have ever imagined if you had that open plate.
My experience is what I have now in my life, not just in terms of financial or tangible. What I've got in my life now is 100 times more than I could ever have dreamt for myself when I started my journey.
Wow.
I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel not crap. I didn't have any. That was it. I just didn't want to feel the way I was feeling, and I wanted it to be different. I couldn't even dream that. I couldn't dream of what it would be like because it was so low. But I look around and I think I could never have created this in my mind, and which is why as you say, if you can drop the expectations, bloody hell, God knows where you're going to end up, how you're going to be feeling, what cloud you're going to have to climb off every night to get into bed. And when you sit quietly, you have that sense that it's just there waiting for you. You can have anything you want. I remember I was so cynical. I'm from Glasgow. Of course you're cynical. It's a working class city with working class attitudes, and life is supposed to be tough, and we just get our heads down, we fight our way through the rain. And I was, I completely had that mindset. And people would say, you can have anything you dream. Yeah, you can have you dream. It will be bigger than your dreams as long as you're willing to let it in. Just open your heart and let it in, and let people in, and let everything in. That's where it all is. That's why we're here. Just be connected. If you're not connected now, find a way. Let your barriers down. Mine was a huge big glass barrier. No one could see it, but it was so firmly in place. Just let it go and let people in. Let them be part of your life. Be part of their life. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You can't see the soapbox that I'm standing on at the moment.
That's all right. That's perfectly okay. You're in the spotlight, sweetheart. That's perfectly okay. So if we could summarize to 3 key things for anyone that's listening that's thinking, wow, I really need to get a bit of this. I need to start looking outside my little box, break that glass wall down. In my case, it was a concrete wall. What 3 things?
I wrote it down earlier, what 3 things, and what I came up with was courage, willingness, and action. Courage, we have, if we are getting out of bed every morning, we're already pretty courageous, especially when life isn't good. So it's taking that courage, harnessing it, and turning it for the good that we really wanted. That's the first thing. Secondly, we need to be willing to take some sort of action to make it happen. And for me, sometimes it's as much as asking the universe or asking God or asking whoever you believe that's not yourself. to give me that willingness. Please just give me the willingness to whatever it is. And then we need to get into action. Then we really need to get started. What do I want and how am I going to get it? So those are the 3 words that I live by. I am courageous. We're all courageous. We're just sometimes using it, using that courage for the wrong reasons, just to get through what is a pretty miserable situation. Let's make it a great situation. Let's take it and turn it around. How can we use it to our advantage? Then the willingness to make the change, because it's scary to change. It's scary to break down that wall or break the glass or whatever it is that we've got around about us. But, it's there. And there's something beautiful on the other side of it. And then, as I say, get into action.
Absolutely. I love those 3 tips. Thank you.
Allison Reiner, www.allisonreiner.com, not Reinhardt.
So ALLISON.
Reiner. AREINER.com.
Yep. Okay.
You can find me. I'm always hanging about on my page on Facebook because I like it in there. So Allison Reiner, an inside job, because love is an inside job.
Okay.
Or Allison@AllisonReiner.com if you want to send me an email.
Fantastic. And you can also find Allison in our community on the Facebook group Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. And if you're not a member there, which of course you are, Allison, you're a massive contributing member, which is just awesome. Oh, look, it's a beautiful space. It's collaborative, it's warm, it's for spiritual entrepreneurs that are ready, really, really ready to be surrounded by similar and like minds and shine. And it's absolutely beautiful. So find us there at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. My name, as I said before, is Michelle Reinhardt. I'm the founder and CEO of $1 Million Mindset, energy and mindset coach, and intuitive. I think that's probably the biggest thing with me. I can never promise what you're going to get because it's going to be what you need, not what I want to do. So I would like to thank you, Allison, so very much for your time, and awesome fun hanging out with you. We're on Zoom. Just to reiterate 3 beautiful words of wisdom there from Allison. Be courageous, be willing, and take action, and you will untap your superpowers. You may need help because it's big. So you've got a super coach sitting there. You're looking at her. Her name is Allison, and she's ready to help you to absolutely break down that glass wall and step out and just be you.
Best version of you can be, absolutely.
Thank
you, Michelle. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been so looking forward to it, and it's kind of difficult to keep focused with your lovely, relaxing voice. I'm all chilled now. And as you say, it is a beautiful space that you've got in Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. It's a really, there's such a fantastic atmosphere and energy in there. It's pretty much my favourite place. So anyone that's not there already, come and join us.
Thank you. And there is much more coming. We are planning a Global Awakening Summit. So it's going to be the place to get the insider's view of what's coming in. It will be happening before the end of this year, 2016. So I can't sleep at night. I'm so excited. It is amazing to be alive in this time, in this space. And Allison, I'm delighted to call you a friend, and I really do thank you and wish you all the very best, and send amazing blessings and love to you, your clients, your family, and I wish you all the very, very best moving forward. Can't wait to hear more.
You're all about it. Thank you so much, and straight back at you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.